Right, just doing a video to make people aware when you're buying a car on finance, who to avoid, because I've been well stitched up really. Anyway, I'm going to start off with Zutu, who are the broker. Anyway, I just went through them. They found me a car at a dealership in Bedford. I'll get onto that and do another video about the dealership. Anyway, bought the car, BMW, on finance through moneybarn, and got the car home. Didn't drive it a lot due to the fact I was working in central London, and you just don't want to be taking your car in and out of work there when I can jump on the tube and train. It had a free callback at BMW, which is where I live, something about a 40 airbag on the driver's wheel. So they brought it in. There's a free, and they had a free diagnosis, put the computer on it, and then they contacted me. They'd done a video of what they did with the car, contacted me to say, basically in the past there's a fault with the clutch, but the computer's been cleared, and there's also an oil leak, and there was one other thing, I think the car had overheated. This was all before I actually bought the car, so the car was under, I was only a month old or something, hadn't really been used much, and BMW made me aware of the problem. So I then didn't think much of it. I took the car to a garage, brought the warranty over, and basically he done a computer check. Cost me, I don't know, 96 quid I think it was. And he come back, said the same thing. He said there's a faulty clutch, there's something wrong with the clutch. Unfortunately, the warranty doesn't cover you. It doesn't do clutches. So and he just said the warranty isn't really worth the paper it's written on. So I then went back to Zutu, the broker, and they was like, oh, really helpful over the phone. Yeah, we'll get it all sorted out. Everything will be sorted. Then this went back and forth just with emails for quite a while, like weeks on end. Then they said, right, the dealership are happy to do the work, contact them. So I contacted the dealership, brought the car over to them, dropped it off. They seemed really happy, said, yeah, we'll get it sorted. They had the car nearly 2 weeks, right? Hadn't done a thing. It doesn't take 2 weeks to put a new clutch in. If it did, it would cost a lot more than what it does. It's a 6 to 8 hour job, but I was happy to let them have a few days at it, but 2 weeks is just taking the mick. Anyway, I contacted them. They said, I said, have you looked at it? I sent them the report over from BMW, so they had the report and they can look at the video, and I said that BMW is happy for you to contact them and let them help you out and tell you what's wrong, what the problems are. They hadn't even looked at the car, didn't even bother putting their own computer on it, nothing. Anyway, he said, oh, if you want a new clutch, where you can pay halves. So I said, no, I'm not paying anything. I said, the car's under the Consumer Rights Act 2015, the car's under 6 months old. In fact, it's only I can't remember how it was weeks old, 6 weeks old or something. I said, I'm not paying for it. So he basically then said, take it, put it through the warranty. And I thought he must have another warranty with the company. So I said, yeah, okay. He said, well, come pick your car up then. So I picked it up, and then I phoned him up. I said, right, what warranty? He said, the one I sold you. I went, well, that's no good. That doesn't do clutches. Anyway, back again with Zutu, and then moneybarn then got involved. They were really helpful on the phone, said, we'll get this sorted out, not a problem. The car went back again to the dealership. They had it for about a week, still haven't done anything. I called him up and I said, what's happening? He said, I'm happy just to change the clutch plate. I said, no, you've got to change the whole clutch and dual mass flywheel. well, otherwise it won't be worth it. It won't have no warranty or anything. Anyway, he then said, no, I'm not doing that just for you to have a warranty. It got really stroppy. I was like, this is just ridiculous here. Anyway, he then said, you don't own the car, the finance company does. I went, yeah, that's true. What's the problem? He then said, I'm not giving you the car back. So he said, I'm going to lock it in the garage and I'm not handing it back to you. So I told the finance company, and basically they said, no, they can't do that. It's got to be handed back to you. The police were involved because they were going to refuse to give the car back. And I didn't really fancy driving all the way to Bedford, which is about an hour and a half from where I live, go and see the car and then come back, if I can't pick it up. Anyway, they wasn't there when I went over there, left the keys with a cleaner, took the car hadn't been moved, it was just left in the same spot. So this time they've had it 3 weeks, 2 different occasions, and the police have had to be involved, and threats that you're not getting the car back. There was just a pain in the backside. Anyway, back to Moneybarn, and this has been going on now for about 5 months, and then eventually the car broke down